Hey, 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 everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Can everyone see and hear me? Just want to make absolutely sure. I fix my hair a little bit. Good morning, everyone. What's up, guys? Where's everyone from? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Where is everyone from? Excuse you. Where are you barking at? Silly girl. I got a new teacher in the studio. Her name is Coda. She's keeping me company right there, like a good girl. Yeah. And she's pretty chill. Like she's really good about like letting me teach and hang out and doesn't usually make a lot of noise. So, can everyone see me and hear me? Just want to make sure. Hello, hello, hello. Check, 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 check. And guys, go ahead and drop your questions. Your singing questions in the chat. Boom. I'm going to put your singing questions in the chat. I want to answer as many as I can today. Now, we're about to get started here in just a second. And I just wanted to really quickly tell you guys about something really special today. So, we've actually created a brand new singing offering. So if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you guys will probably know about the Master Your Voice singing course. It's very, very premium. It's the only singing course out there that actually offers personalized video feedback from me. And basically, at the beginning of it, I ask you to send in a recording of yourself singing something, and I respond with a 7 to 12 minute video personalized vocal assessment. You get lifetime access to the vocal exercise library, all this awesome stuff, and continued email support. But the problem is that costs $500. And that was just really, really difficult for a lot of people to actually do. And so what I did was I actually took that same thing. Sorry, I think I put it in. The address wrong. Let me just make sure that I've got the right thing. Hopefully, you guys can actually read this and see this and click on it. Yeah, okay, that one looks better. And basically, I've taken the Master Your Voice singing course, the entire experience of Master Your Voice, and I've put it online and turned it into a monthly course. And it starts off with just one single payment for your breakthrough month at $149. And then every month after that, it's just $19. It's insanely affordable. And if you guys, it's only available to you guys that are watching this right now, because I noticed that there were a ton of students that were seeing so much benefit from my Master Your Voice singing course, but at $500 is just too much for people. And so what I did was I just took the exact same thing and I was like, okay, what is the least amount that I can possibly charge where everyone is still getting that 7 to 12 minute video personalized vocal assessment. They're getting this customized singing roadmap for exactly which exercises to do and what, because once I'm actually able to hear you sing something, then I can actually recommend some exercises to do. So just a quick reminder, that's just available to you guys that are watching this right now. I want to keep it very, very special because everyone else that's on my YouTube channel, they'll see links that take them to the regular Master Your Voice singing course. And like I said, that starts at $500. And so only for you guys that are watching this right now are able to see the Master Your Voice monthly course, which, as I said, for the very first month, it's called the Vocal Breakthrough Month. And that costs $149, and that includes a 7 to 12 minute video personalized vocal assessment that I shoot for you, breaking down everything that you did in your recording. It's also going to include a totally customized singing roadmap with some handpicked exercises that you can do to see the most feedback in your voice, the most improvement in your voice. And every month after that, it's just $19. So it drops dramatically after that first month. And I did the math on it, and it's like you could be a part of Master Your Voice monthly. It would take you 17 months of being in Master Your Voice monthly to equal just the one single payment of the Master Your Voice singing course, the one that's $500. So it's an incredible steal. Definitely check it out. There's no requirement. You can cancel at any time that you want to. Let me go ahead and start answering some questions. Okay. Okay, so Let's see. Let me go to the very first one. Okay. Cat Studio says can also become a sopranos. Not even gonna get started with the grammar on that one. Can also become a sopranos. I don't even know what you're asking there, Cat. Maybe you're asking, can men become sopranos? So typically speaking, before puberty, everyone's basically about the same type of voice type. Everyone's basically a type of soprano. And then we go through puberty, we have our voice change, the larynx, this thyroid cartilage right here, thickens up, the vocal cords grow, and as a result of growing, they vibrate more slowly and they have more vocal weight to them, which turns us into the lower singing voices. Typically, for the ladies, we're looking at altos, mezzos, and sopranos. Sopranos being the highest, altos being the lowest. And for guys, we're going to be looking at basses, baritones, and tenors. Basses being the lowest, baritones being in the middle, and tenors being the highest. And there are a bunch more different vocal types out there. However, I like to break it down into those main six because it tends to keep everything really clean. Okay, great question. So, Leisha says, I just started singing. So, how do I avoid breaking my voice? Okay, so here's the thing, Leisha. Everyone has a vocal break in their voice. The goal is to make it not sound like a vocal break. So if I sing, "ee," you can hear that big vocal break in my voice. However, the goal is to get to a point where it's where you're not really able to hear the vocal break. Now, am I still going from my chest voice up to my head voice? Absolutely. However, it's more about making those transitions just as incredibly effortless as possible. So, great question. Malay was asking, hey, is Master Your Voice Monthly a limited time offer? The monthly thing? Yes, you're only able to click on this link because you're watching this live stream. Anyone else that's clicking any of the links in my other YouTube videos will just be brought to the Master Your Voice, the regular Master Your Voice page, which starts at $500, as I said. It's still fantastic. Okay, so Equilipsic. Oh, I remember that name. When I'm working on strengthening my chest voice with scales and stuff, do I isolate my pure chest voice or is it okay to go into a mix when I go higher? Well, you definitely want to work on all the different areas of your voice, equilipsic. So if you go ma 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 ma, I'm in chest voice on the bottom note. I'm in mixed voice on the top note, and those notes in the middle because there's four notes. Ma 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 ma. These ones are some sort of kind of chest voice, but definitely by the time I go up to that F sharp, I'm in some sort of a mixed voice, right? So when you're first starting off by developing your chest voice, I definitely recommend isolating to those exercises down at the bottom part of your voice. For guys, that means basically around probably a D4 and below. Any of those notes below that would still theoretically be your chest voice. Anything D4 and higher, probably some sort of mixed voice heading up towards head voice. For ladies, same thing would be true, probably around an F4 and below would be any sort of chest voice, and anything above that would be some sort of a mixed voice. Great question. So to kind of answer that question even a little bit more clearly, I would first start off equilipsic. I would start off by singing just the chest voice area, and then I would really quickly, as soon as you've got that feeling of that chest voice, I would start applying that to the entire vocal range because that's the whole key, right? We don't just sing in chest voice or just sing in head voice. You know, most songs are going to have some combination of both of them. And just because there was a little bit of a question here, let me see if I can do this better. I think this one should work. Let me try this. No, that didn't work. Okay, hold on. I can't put it on a nice little can't put it in a nice little link like that. I have to put the big old link. Um, and so I was just wanted to reiterate that we just reopened Master Your Voice Monthly. It's the entire experience of my complete Master Your Voice singing course, but done at one low time monthly cost. It's the only singing course where you're going to get personalized feedback from a 5-star vocal coach every single month for one low cost. So definitely check that out. And again, I'm only going to leave that open until midnight Central Time tonight. So definitely save that link and definitely check it out because that link is only available because you're watching this live stream. Any other video that you watch, it won't be available. So Amanda says, can you improve your voice later in life, like your 40s? Absolutely. Yeah. As men, our singing voices don't really even completely settle until we're somewhere in our 20s, mid 20s. Ladies, kind of the same thing, although your voices develop a little bit earlier than that. But there are many, many singers who still have a long vocal life ahead of them in their 40s. Absolutely. Great question. And I teach older singers all the time, people in their 60s and above. Let's see. Erwin Van Landwust. I just wanted to try to say that. That's fun. That's fun to say. Hi, Matt. I hope you're great. My question is, how can I sing a G5 or A5 notes with a low volume or more controlled volume? I always blast those notes. Thank you in advance. That's a really good question, Erwin. So I'm going to guess based on your name that you're a guy. And so just to demonstrate, here's going from a C4 up to a G5. That's probably around the highest end of my voice. On a gee, maybe I can try it on a na 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 na. Now, most guys are not going to have to sing that high end songs. However, it's really, really crucial that even if we're having to go up and sing some really, really high notes, it's really helpful to be able to go up even further past that. Now, in regards to the volume blast that you're getting up there, this is going to sound really simple, but try to turn down your volume when you go up to those higher notes. If you can't help it, but go loud on those top notes, then that's probably okay because most singers get a big boost of resonance. Most tenors, that is, get a really big boost of resonance around that G5, A flat 5, A5, around those notes right there. It's really difficult to keep that quiet because you're getting a big boost of resonance there from the second harmonic that you're lining up with the first formant. And you don't have to worry too much about all that technical talk. Just understand that you just need to practice seeing if you can lower the volume on that. One other exercise that I really like for that is the lip trill. So I'm trying really hard to not push and go louder at that top one. I'm consciously actually trying to lower the volume. And then you can kind of take some of that same feeling on more open mouth exercises like the gee. So without blasting it. Great question there. Very specific. I love the specific questions. Let's see. Malay says, though I'm not insecure about my singing, I'm always very aware that other people can hear me, which makes me not put as much power into songs as I'd like. How can I help it? That's a really good question, Malay. So part of being a singer is embracing that you have to make noise. And oftentimes loud noises, louder noises than many people will want to hear. And that's not only true from a vocal technique perspective, because remember, we have to have a certain amount of volume to have good vocal technique to actually go up to those higher notes. For example, if you're just singing in a light chest voice, even though that might sound really pretty, there's not a lot of control in that because what happens when I go up to the higher notes? Just disappears, right? Whereas if you start with a fuller sound, I'm actually able to make that transition much more easily because I'm going there with kind of that threshold important volume right there. Great question. Guys, keep in mind that you're only able to see the link for Master Your Voice Monthly that I just dropped right now because you're on this live stream. It takes the entire experience of Master Your Voice, my best singing course, and makes it into a one low-cost monthly payment, getting all the personalized feedback and exercises that you need to take your voice to the next level. Brass tacks, as soon as you enroll, you send in a recording of yourself singing, and I respond with a 7 to 12 minute personalized video vocal assessment, breaking down everything that you are doing in your singing and creating a roadmap for how you can work through the course and which exercises to do for maximum results. So definitely check out that link. You're only seeing that link because you're on the live stream. It's not available anywhere else. And just a quick reminder, I am leaving that open until midnight Central Time tonight. Any other link that you find regarding Master Your Voice will just bring you to the regular Master Your Voice singing course, which starts at $500. So this is absolutely an incredible deal, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys are able to see it by yourselves. Let me get to Leisha says, I'm 14, I'm a boy. How do I improve my singing voice? My breathing especially. The key to learning how to breathe for singing is all about the low belly breath, also called the diaphragmatic breath, also called singing from your diaphragm, which basically means that as you sing, when you inhale before you sing, the low part of your stomach comes out as you inhale. Then as you sing, the stomach gently comes in. Now, most singers are going to do the opposite of that. They're going to inhale and they're going to raise their shoulders. They're going to puff out their chest. They're going to raise their traps. And sometimes they even pull their stomach in when they're inhaling because we think that we need to, retract as we inhale. However, we want to do the opposite. As I inhale, the stomach comes out. And as I sing, the stomach comes back in. This is the essence of good breath control. And by the way, a really, really good exercise to help you with your breath control is called the Farinelli exercise, where basically you inhale for a certain count, you hold or sustain the breath for a certain count, and then you exhale for a certain breath. So, for example, you could inhale for a count of 6, hold for 6, and out for 6. So it would be something like this. So in for 6, hold for 6, out for 6. And a really important thing here to note with the Farinelli breathing exercise is that when you're holding or sustaining, you don't want to be clamping down on the air. Instead, you just want to gently hold the air on that middle count. So in for 6, hold, or that's why I say sustain for 6, because holding makes it sound like I have to press down. They call that a Valsalva maneuver, which means that you're closing your vocal cords as tight as you can to prevent any air from coming out of them. So instead, you just want to have the vocal cords relaxed. Great questions. Let me see. Let me make sure that I didn't miss any. Okay, so no, so. I have a little bit of an Australian accent today. I don't know why. Noso says, hello. May I ask what is the difference between resonance and vibrato? Absolutely. They're completely different. So vibrato is anytime that you're holding a note and the note kind of has a little bit of a tremor or a wiggle. You can hear that as I sing that note, I'm wavering it or I'm quivering it. Resonance, if you go into a cave, let's say, or a large auditorium, and you make a sound, you'll hear that the sound is resonating within that cave or within the auditorium, whichever visual makes the most sense to you. So they really don't have anything to do with each other. Vibrato is a quivering of a note, whereas resonance is kind of the sound energy that's within a certain space or a certain venue. And you can also talk about resonance in terms of what's going on in your throat. Excuse me. Whenever I sing something, sorry, I shouldn't do it with vibrato to not confuse you. Sorry. Ah, as I'm making that ah sound, the sound is resonating within my throat. It's also resonating within my mouth, within this room, against that window, against my dog right here. Coda, hello. And she's like, hey, dude, I am busy. I am busy cleaning myself, okay? You took me on a long walk this morning. What, I don't even get a chance to take a shower? I saw you take a shower. Anyway, so that's the difference between vibrato and resonance. Very good question. Let's see. Sashwat says, hi, Ramsey. When I go higher, I pull my chest voice up to F4, and then my voice breaks, and I switch to my head voice, which is more like a girlish voice and sounds pitchier. How do I fix it? This is the same question that we were talking about earlier, is like, how do you avoid that vocal break? The key is mixed voice, is having a blend between the bottom part and the top part of your singing voice to blend them together. So rather than, here's an F4, mom, 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 that's just falsetto. Mom, 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 mom. It's just falsetto up there. However, if I mom, 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 that's up to a G4 right there. And I'm able to take that higher. I've blended together the bottom and the top part of my singing voice. How do you do it? That really depends on what it is that you're actually doing wrong. It sounds like you're pulling chest voice up too much to those higher notes, and as a result, your voice breaks. We see that all the time. It's like you're pushing, you're straining, like you're lifting a weight, and then your muscles just give out. And so in your case, Sashwat, it sounds like the best thing to do is to allow a little bit more of that head voice in rather than pushing your chest voice so much. But if you enroll in 30 days in, Master Your Voice Monthly, using the link that I posted right there, I'll be able to tell you exactly what it is that I'm hearing and how you can overcome that with some specific vocal exercises. Because remember, as soon as you enroll in Master Your Voice Monthly, I actually listen to a recording of yourself singing, and I send back a 7 to 12 minute video personalized assessment of what it is that you're doing when you sing and some key exercises to help you overcome that. Great question. Equilipsic says, yeah, I've been figuring out these things at the moment, making very good progress, though. Thanks for your tips in previous streams, too. You're very welcome. Leisha, I just answered your question about breathing when singing. So definitely try out that Farinelli breathing exercises. Nene says, I hope you see this. One of my biggest weaknesses are breathing. Sometimes when I sing, I feel my stomach pushing in, or it'll feel numb. I need help with that. So you may need to have a vocal coach or something like that feel your stomach as you're breathing to make sure that you're not adding any extra tension. However, I think that this is something that you can do for yourself. As you inhale, the stomach will come out. So I know you can't see this, but just imagine. Just notice that as I do that, my shoulders don't move. Rather than like this. That's what most singers do when they inhale. They're going to raise their shoulders, raise their chest, or something like that. And that is not the way to do it. That's going to add more tension to your singing voice. Cherokee made it. Hey, Cherokee. Good to see you. Noso says, is this a one-time thing? Yes, it is a one-time thing. People were asking about the Master Your Voice monthly course. I just dropped the link right there. You guys are only able to see that link. That link is only active on this live stream. Any other video of mine that you see, you won't actually be able to access that link. You'll just get the link to regular Master Your Voice, which starts at $500. So you'll see that this is actually an incredible offer. So definitely check it out. Krista says, I always sing in falsetto. I don't know how to change it. It's almost upsetting to hear people say that when I'm truly trying to. Yes, absolutely. So here's the deal, Krista. Falsetto is merely, this is an oversimplification. Falsetto is just an unenforced and unreinforced head voice. So the good news is that you're doing something right, that you're actually going up to the head voice. But what we need to do is we need to build more strength, build more resistance into it. So maybe a bratty sound like a na 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 could be helpful for you. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. So I'm still in my head voice there. However, that bratty sound is actually helping my vocal cords close more, what some people might call compression. But I think compression is a little confusing sometimes. But basically, bringing the vocal cords together to make a stronger sound. And then, so if right now you're going, "Ah," and you turn it into, "Na," then the next step is making that a little bit prettier, a little bit more normal. "Ma, ma, ma, ma." So I'm still getting the resonance and the strength that I need up there. It's not, it has some power, has some presence to it. Excuse me. Dupe Drew says, is there a way to sing longer, for example, on stage? Depends on what you mean by longer, Dupe. I'm sure that there is. Do you mean like hold a longer note, or do you mean like go perform longer without your voice getting tired? That's a really good question. So go ahead and clarify that for me if you wouldn't mind. Olivia says, do you know mezzo-soprano singers? Absolutely. There's mezzo-soprano singers all over the place. Lady Gaga, Madonna. Let me think of some others. Beyonce. Those are some very good mezzo-soprano singers. Luke says, hi, Ramsey. You're wonderful. Oh, thank you. I wanted to ask you, I'm a vocal coach and I got a low baritone, excuse me, who doesn't know how to enter his falsetto. He never used it in his whole life. How can you make him access? So what I would recommend, and I think there's some additional comment. Let's see. Also, I have a couple of singers who can sing very well. Open out. Okay, I'll get to that later. So as far as helping a baritone discover falsetto, narrow, headier vowels tend to be really good. So singing on an ooh, maybe. Foo, or a fee. And Luke, I would also recommend bringing him above the area of his vocal break. So let's say that his voice breaks maybe around a C sharp 4, D4, E flat 4, E4, around that area. I would take him above the first passage. So I would take him above a G4 if you can, maybe to an A flat, maybe to an A4, maybe even a B flat 4. Fee, fee, fee. And maybe doing an octave drop, excuse me, after that to help him rediscover fee. Like most likely he'll still have a really big break there, but that's just temporary. And sometimes temporary is a while. Sometimes it'll take like 6 months to a year to start to get to the point where it's where he's able to make that transition smoothly. It happens. Good question, though. Leisha says, I don't know my vocal range. Well, Leisha, have I got a tool for you? Here's a vocal range finder. It's totally free on my website. Check it out. That'll tell you your vocal range. Dylan says, hey, Ramsey, how would one be able to figure their sound? I know about tenors, sopranos, etc., but how would one find their voice? I'm told I'm either bass or baritone, but how can I know for sure? Okay, so this is a little confusing here, Dylan. So you said, I know about, so how would I be able to figure out my voice? So you're talking about voice type. You say, I know about tenors, sopranos, etc., but how would one find their voice? I've been told I'm either a bass or a baritone, but how can I know for sure? So it sounds like you're talking about how do I find my true voice? But at the same time, you're saying, how do I find my voice type? And those are two different things. The difference is a true voice is your specific vocal style that is completely unique to you. It's not available to anyone else. And other people could imitate you, but they're never going to sound 100% like you. That's a true voice. Now, as far as a voice type is the vocal classification that you are, i.e., bass, baritone, tenor, alto, mezzo, and soprano. Those are the different voice types available to the feedback video recording. Oh, sorry, I'll get back to that one time. Oh, I see what you're asking, Noso. Let me get to that in just 1 second. To find your voice type or your voice classification, I would recommend finding your range, but I would also, in your range, by the way, like C3 up to C5, for example. That's an example of a vocal range, right? And so depending on your vocal range, that'll give you a pretty good clue about what your voice type is. But more importantly than that, and I talk about this all the time, is finding your vocal weight. Do you have a heavy voice? Do you have a medium weight voice, or do you have a light voice? For example, with me, I'm a lighter voice type. So even though I have this loud, brash, almost kind of nasal sounding voice, excuse me, it's still light compared to, man, I'm thinking of my ex-girlfriend, Monica, her brother, Anthony. He just had this like super, super low voice. And you could tell that he wasn't pushing it down. It would just rumble. It was like this Johnny Cash kind of sound. And so what you need to do is you need to think about the different famous singers from each of those vocal categories. And by the way, if you try the rangefinder on my website there, I send you a series of emails educating you about your singing voice type. I believe it's the second email or the third email. It's called Your Famous Singer Match, is what it's called. Your Famous Singer Match. I give you some examples that you can compare your voice type to. Now, to answer Noso's question, so just a quick reminder, we just opened enrollment for my Master Your Voice monthly class. And this is the Master Your Voice singing course. But the Master Your Voice singing course was just so prohibitively expensive for people that I turned it into a monthly low-cost subscription class instead. The first month is what's called your vocal breakthrough month. And in that first month, I'm going to ask you to send in a recording of yourself singing something, and I'll respond within 5 business days with a 7 to 12-minute video personalized feedback showing you exactly, hey, I heard you do this at this mark. I heard you do this at this mark. And I'm actually on screen showing you exactly what I'm hearing in your singing voice. And then based on that recording, I actually create a customized singing roadmap detailing exactly how I want you to work through the program for maximum results. After that, every single month drops down to just $19 a month. So one low cost every single month. And every month, I'm going to request that you send in another recording of yourself singing something to get my feedback. Most of the time, that feedback is going to take place in the form of more personalized videos that I shoot for you. Hey, girl, looking out the window? Is it nice? Is it nice out there? You want to come up here? Nah, she's like, I can't climb all the way up there. Are you crazy? You crazy, Matt? Let me see if I can show you guys. There she is. There's a pretty girl. And so, like I said, most of the time, the feedback that I'm going to send you in the following months will also be in video form too. Anyone that's been a part of Master Your Voice knows that I'm constantly answering people's emails, being like, "Hey, yeah, I totally hear it. Matt, what am I doing here? It seemed to be squeezing on this top note. What do I need to do here?" I'm answering those all the time. Great. So I think I answered that one. Let's see. Tom Todd says, my mom tends to complain that I can't sing falsetto. She said my falsetto is too loud, bombastic, and it sounds like I was using my chest voice to sing it. How can I fix this problem? If your falsetto is too loud, bombastic, and it sounds like you're using your chest voice to sing it, Tom, you're not singing in falsetto. Falsetto, by definition, comes from really, really thin vocal cords, where chest voice comes from really, really thick vocal cords. So, chest voice, right? Falsetto, falsetto is just very, very light, very, very breathy. So, based on what you've said, your question might be better phrased this way. How can I learn how to sing those higher notes with power, but without straining? And the answer to that, Tom Todd, is singing in mixed voice. Check out my Master Your Voice monthly class. I cover mixed voice extensively. Excuse me. Sashwat says, everybody tells us to find your real voice or your original voice and then copy other artists. But how do I do it? Well, Sashwat, I have to say, so first you need to do some training. You need to do some technique work in order to learn exactly what your voice is and what it does well, some exercises that you can use to strengthen it and overcome your singing obstacles. Then you've basically created your entire palette of colors that you can choose from as a singer. And then all you have to do is combine those different colors together to imitate your favorite singers. But it's very, very difficult to do that if you don't have the technique to back it up. Malay says, let's see, did I skip it? I skipped it. Okay. Sorry, I'm running so far. I'm so far up the chat. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for your patience. Malay says, I'm too breathy and I'm not getting through to my chest voice. And when I go to the higher notes, I often strain and feel pretty fatigued. How do I use my chest voice properly on both low and high notes? So Malay, you wouldn't be using your chest voice on high notes. You'd just be using, by definition, you'd just be using your chest voice to sing the lower notes in your voice. So most likely, if you're straining when you go up to those higher notes, you're probably pulling your chest voice to a range where it shouldn't be. The solution, again, is mixed voice. So rather than ma 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 ma, it's learning how to mix the chest voice and the head voice together. Let's see. Sashwat says, hey, Ramsey, can you tell me the difference between head voice and falsetto? Yeah, I just covered that. So head voice, thin vocal cords, but closing pretty good, versus thin vocal cords that aren't closing very much. Excuse me. I was just laughing because there's so many falsetto questions today. Look at you guys. How do you stop singing falsetto? So some people are talking about, how do I sing in falsetto? How do I stop singing in falsetto? So Krista, we covered that earlier. You need to learn how to reinforce that falsetto by singing with a stronger head voice. Erwin says, one more question, please. When I sing a low note in vocal fry and start to go up in my register with that coordination, I get a very light flute-like sound, soft, without much power. I feel that sound completely disconnected from my real voice, but I can reach C7. Is that flageolet or whistle voice? I'm confused. Erwin, I'd have to hear it to know for sure whether you're singing in whistle voice up there. But one thing I will tell you is if you look at a vocal pitch monitor or even a vocal range app and you sing in vocal fry, there's not enough melodic information inside of that sound that I just made to actually register the note as low as it is. And so what vocal pitch monitors do is they guess about where it is. And so they'll say that's up in the 6th, 7th octave. It's a little bit of a problem with some of the software that's out there. But just knowing that is really, really helpful. And just a quick reminder, guys, the only reason that you're getting access to the Master Your Voice monthly class right here is because you guys are on this live stream right now. You're not going to be able to find the link to this incredibly affordable version of the Master Your Voice program anywhere else. So great question. Let's see. Let's see. Inhalare la voce. Pitchit says, how can I practice inhalare la voce? I don't know what that means. Something the voice. Let's see. Google Translate. I thought I knew a lot of the obscure. Yeah, that's what I thought it meant. Inhale the voice. I don't really see any reason to inhale on your singing voice. Some people do it as a way of finding whistle register, but honestly, I don't find it really helpful or very pretty or very useful, honestly. So I would forget about it unless there's a specific reason. Let's see. They call it, the fancy word for that is reverse phonation, which means typically phonation is going this way. Ah, as I'm singing out that way. Reverse phonation is like inhaling and trying to get the vocal cords to vibrate with air moving this way. It's very, very strange. Luke says, about mix and passaggio. I know a pro male singer who says he can't access his mixed voice. It's like he only has chest or falsetto. Have you ever seen an anatomical disability for the mix, or is it mental? Great question, Luke. This is actually a really, really good question. So I've definitely worked with students that for them, mixed voice is a struggle. It takes a while to get them to the point where they're able to go, ma, 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 from the bottom to the top of their voice and back down without straining. Have I ever seen someone that's unable to achieve mixed voice? No, I don't think I have. You know what? Here's the one caveat to that. The one catch is that I have seen some people that just really, really cannot access their falsetto at all. But it's been like, honestly, I've taught over 2,000 in-person students, and I think I've seen like 2 people like that. So honestly, Luke, he's probably not that unlucky. He probably just hasn't found the right vocal coach or the right vocal exercise to be able to help him get there. It's a great question. Stephanie says, okay, the last question, guys. Stephanie says, how can I know what my head voice is? Is there anything I can do right now to be able to hear my head voice? How can I know what my head voice is? How can you know what your head voice is? Well, where does it feel? So in the old days, what singers would do is they would have their hand on the back of their head, and they'd sing a high note, and you would feel that vibration up here, rather. It's almost as if the vibration has left my chest, versus I feel that vibration in my chest. But when I go, it's left. Those sympathetic resonances have left the chest voice area, and now we're up in my head voice. So that's what they used to do in the old school days. But the honest answer is that the easiest thing to do is have a professional be able to listen to you. So great, guys. Just a quick reminder. We are just opening up enrollment for Master Your Voice Monthly to the people that are on this stream right now. No one else is able to see that link. Anyone else that clicks on a Master Your Voice link, it takes them to the Master Your Voice singing course, which starts at the $500 range. This is much, much, much more affordable way to do it. And just a quick reminder, as soon as you enroll, you're going to get access to send in a recording of yourself singing, and I'm going to respond with a 7 to 12 minute personalized video vocal assessment and a customized roadmap for how to work through the singing course. I'm going to be going live again next Saturday, 10 a.m. So I didn't get a chance to answer your question today, I want to make sure that I see it by then. So thank you guys very much for being here, and I'm excited to see some of you guys inside of the course. See you later. Bye.